So hello and welcome everyone to the second tutorial on lab number 1, and in this tutorial we will create a slider segment and I will show how you can make sure that two slider segments have a precise distance to each other. So at first I want to have some space, so I want to have this design pattern over here visible, which we can just do by clicking on this eye symbol over here so it's not visible anymore. So to make life easier, we zoom in to 400%. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to create a little helper rectangle. This will help us to create the slider segment. So if it is like completely black here, I actually want it to be white and have a little frame, which I can again do by changing here the colors of the infill color and the frame color. And this is what we got right now. So next I want to have a specific width and height, and in particular a width of 5 centimeters and a height of 2 centimeters, so it fits nicely into our music player design. So I click on this one, click on transform, and then I set the width to 50 millimeters and the height to 20 millimeters. Perfect. Alright, then we will add another rectangle to it that will go from the upper left corner of our helper rectangle right to the center of our helper triangle. Perfect. And now the plan is to create vertices right here, and then we can just move these vertices in this direction, creating this traditional shape of a slider segment. So the problem here is that we first need to have vertices that we can actually click on and we can drag them to another location. But as you can see, if we click on it, we see that there are vertices in the corners, but of course there are no vertices right on the edge of this rectangle. So to change this, at first we have to use a specific tool for this one. So at first we always, if we want to manipulate the vertices of a shape, we use here the direct selection tool. This allows us to click on individual vertices and then potentially also like move them around and so on. And I will undo this again. So and to create a vertex like right here in the middle, we can use the scissor tool of Illustrator, and this one you can find right here where you have this eraser tool symbol, and if you hold the left mouse button you can click on the scissor tool. And now we will try to cut the shape right in the center, and here we can use these very useful guidelines that Illustrator gives us to make sure that we are like right in the center. So we click, creating one vertex here, and we do this on the other side as well, right in the center, using Illustrator's guidelines. And perfect. So what did this do? So pretty much as this is a tool, most likely it tells you, this tool cuts the shape into two pieces. So if you click on it, we see now that we have one shape right here, and if we click on this part, we have one shape right here. So next we want to just select the vertices that we just created, like these ones over here and these ones over here. We do this again with the direct selection tool, which enables us to manipulate vertices directly. We select them, and then we can just drag them around. So this can be dragged around arbitrarily, which of course we don't want. So to make sure that it only moves horizontally, we can hold the shift key and just move in this direction. Then it makes sure that we cannot go up and down, as you can see here. So we move it all the way to the right edge, right hand side of our helper rectangle. So of course you also see that our helper rectangle got a little bit distorted in the process, but since we don't need it anymore, we can just take it out, press delete, and get rid of it. So, and we have now here the principal shape of a slider segment. So we want to clean this up a little bit. So similar to the problem that we had with the two line segment tools when we created a wire, we can also like see here, since these are two individual shapes, one here, these two segments don't go together that nicely and that cleanly. And we can clean this up by using the join tool again and joining these two elements together by just like drawing over it. And as you can see, this looks much cleaner right now. We do the same right here, and this one also looks much better right now. So next is we want to change the infill color again. So we don't really need the frame around it, so we can get rid of it by setting the frame color to none. So this frame is now gone. And now we just change the infill color to black, and we have one segment done. So let's zoom out a little bit again. Now we need to add like a couple more. I will only show how to add one more. So we just click on it and use Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V to make a copy of this element, and let's just put it here. Let's talk now about the question about how can we make sure that these two segments have the same distance to each other. So, and this is, there are numerous ways how to do this. I have one method that I personally prefer the most, but this is up to you. So I just create like a new rectangle right here, and I just like set this rectangle and its width to be exactly 2 millimeters, just like here, just like that. So now we know that this here has exactly 2 millimeters, and we can just like place it on the tip of the first segment such that they intersect perfectly. Then we just click on this object and we just bring it closer until we have an intersection with the one vertex of the second segment. Once we have the intersection confirmed, thanks to Illustrator's guidelines, we know these two segments have a distance of exactly 2 millimeters. So now we can click on our little helper right here again, we can delete it, and we have the two segments finished. So now we can make the design layer visible again. We can select both of these segments and then place them where we think it looks good. So for the rest of the tutorial, what you will have to do is add 3 more of these slider segments, that you have 5 in total. Add the wires that will lead to a bunch of connector pads, most likely here or where it is convenient for you. So good luck.